So I've decided to work on this area, and as you can see, I've carved out a good portion of the foam. So the idea is that this will be very scenic, so a lot of rock, grass, debris, stuff like that. So here's a closer look of the rock and the foam that I carved out. I've maybe carved out 3/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit less. And I've done the cross hatching, as you've seen in other videos. People, when they make rock faces, they use a knife, they cut the foam, and then they cut it the other way, and then they kind of pull at it. It's a little bit complicated, and I think it's actually a lot harder than it looks. So hopefully this comes out nice. As you can see, I've tried my best to do that, and then I've also sanded it down. And of course, it's all been vacuumed, and we're now ready for the next step, which is paint. I'll be using my white and country gray. Before we do get any further, I do want to show something off really cool. Check this out. This is a Volvo A40D, I guess, dump truck. I mean, look at the detail on it. Look at that. That's pretty nice detail. And surprisingly enough, it's made by Atlas. So, very cool. Anyways, let's move on. We're gonna go for a very, very light color. Oh, I just dropped my brush on the carpet. So we're gonna paint just the entire area. Try not to get too close to the ballast or on top of it overlapping. We're not going to go too far because I'm going to do a sidewalk right here. Alright, so for the most part, we've gotten all the dirt down. So it's coming out pretty nice. You can see the rock face that I painted white. So the next step is to glue it down. As the dirt is drying, we're going to focus on painting these sidewalks. So we're going to paint those and then we're going to put them on the layout. Well, it's the next day and everything is dry now. And I also took the time while it was drying to add our little sidewalk piece. And that's kind of why I didn't add dirt there. And that'll connect with this side here where the sidewalk goes. But the next step is to add static grass because I want to add some green to the layout. This is pretty much everything I use for static grass. I'll be using 7mm light green, but mostly I'll be using 4mm. I think the 4mm on HO scale layouts looks pretty good. It might be still a little bit too tall, but I'd prefer the 4mm. And the static grass applicator is my trusty bug zapper, which only costs $20 to make. And to glue it and secure all the grass down, I prefer to use Mod Podge Matte. So to get all the excess grass, I use a sock. This is an old sock that I cut up, and you put it on the end of the vacuum hose. This is how it looks after just one pass, and I'm using a little bit of 7mm and mostly 4mm. The grass is completely dry now. I think I waited about a day. You don't have to wait that long, but it came out looking really good. I think adding the 7mm to the 4mm added a nice level of difference, which makes it look a little bit more realistic. But anyway, let's move on. So we're gonna paint this rock face now. So I'm gonna water down the paint a good amount, and I'm gonna hope for the best. So now I have some watered down gray, and I think we're gonna start from, I guess, here onwards. This is gonna be, I guess, kind of a dirty, I don't know, hill. Ah, okay. All right, we're off to a good start. All right, so that's one layer, or one pass through. I'm not sure if you guys can notice the difference, but there is a slight difference. So we can kind of see what we're working with. We're using this color right now, which is sea gray. Ooh, that's a little aggressive, but it's okay. I'm going to attempt to add a little bit more yellow, but we're going to dry brush the yellow. And if you're not aware of what a dry brush is, you're just using a paper towel and drying the paint on the towel as much as you can. So there's very minimal paint. So what you're looking at is the result of just these two colors right here, gray and yellow ochre. I think I learned this from Boomer Diorama. I remember him mentioning yellow ochre before. I can't remember if it was for actual landscaping or maybe for weathering, but I think the last step that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a dry brush of white, which will just highlight the, I guess, the tops, make it look a little bit better. All right, very light. Ooh, okay, that's too much. We want to go very light. You see the rocks here look a little bit better with the dry brush. So I'm pretty satisfied with how it looks now. So I'm going to stop before I ruin it. Let's get some dirt back where it needs to go. So we're going to use our regular dirt here. And we're going to get pretty much around this area where the paint got on the, I guess, the ground instead of the rocks. And this little area right here. So we are now on day 4 of building this little scenery area. And the only difference is that I've added some dirt to where the grass is. So adding that dirt to the grass, I think just made it look a lot better. And because it's unmixed, it has a different shade. The final thing to do is add some details. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be adding some tufts. These are really nice. $5.49, not too bad, I guess. We got cattails. I'm not sure if we'll use these, but I want to try to use all these so they don't just sit around. We got twigs and various other details. The final detail will be one of my trees. So we're pretty much going to wrap up here. I'm happy with how it turned out. And if you're wondering what this guy's doing, I'm guessing My whole story with him is he's a surveyor and maybe they want to build a Starbucks that nobody asked for. So that's maybe what he's doing, and maybe he fell down the rocks or something. I don't know. His legs and arms are kind of moved different, or kind of frozen in a weird spot, so it looks like he's climbing. Technically, he's actually supposed to be climbing a locomotive, but he's this time climbing some rocks. So that's the story of that guy right there. So do enjoy some last final shots of the layout here, of the scenery that we just did, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.